I recognize the member for London West.
Thank you very much, Speaker. It is my extraordinary privilege to rise today on behalf of the official opposition to pay tribute to the Honourable Bill Davis, who served with unparalleled distinction through 4 consecutive governments from 1971 to 1985 as Ontario's 18th Premier, who served as Minister of Education and the first Minister of University Affairs for almost a decade before that, and who dedicated himself for 26 years to the people of Peel and Brampton as an effective, likeable, and hugely popular progressive Conservative MPP. Bill Davis is rightly remembered as Ontario's education premier, someone who believed deeply that, quote, if we get education right, everything else will be better. But he will also forever be known as the politician who redefined what it means to be bland. Davis was a transformative visionary who presided over one of the most remarkable periods of province building in Ontario's history. His legacy is all around us, in the world-class college system he created, in the ambitious expansion of public education and establishment of OISE and TVO, in the cancellation of the Spadina Expressway and the building out of GO Transit, in the founding of community legal clinics, in the creation of Ontario's first Ministry of the Environment, in the introduction of rent review, and in brokering a historic compromise that led to the patriation of Canada's Constitution and the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Davis was also a consummate political pragmatist with an innate understanding that the art of the possible means bringing people along. His approach was the opposite of divide and conquer, the antithesis of polarization and unilateralism. He was an innovative changemaker who recognized the importance of listening to opposing views and taking time to make decisions, quietly mobilizing support for good ideas and just as quietly letting bad ones fade away in both minority and majority governments. While he enjoyed the cut and thrust of parliamentary debate, Davis viewed his political opponents not so much as adversaries as philosophically misguided, good people who were no less deserving of respect. In the accolades that poured out following his passing, in August 2021, at the age of 92, Davis was universally lauded for his graciousness, kindness, and fundamental human decency. Many also spoke of his modesty and humility, which explains his long resistance to having his biography written until Steve Paikin wore him down in 2014. Former NDP leader Stephen Lewis, who sat across the aisle from Davis during most of the 1970s, told me in an email, "You will know that my relationship with Davis was close, even affectionate. I was very fond of him, and as much as we fought some bitter ideological battles, there was never any malice, mostly a mutual respect." When Davis announced that he would not run again in 1985, Lewis wrote to him, quote, "You made of politics an art that was at once humane, generous, respectful, and urgent. We often disagreed. My political colleagues have told me not often enough, but there always remained a quality of shared regard and friendship. I think of you today with such deep affection and admiration for what you've done and who you are and what lies ahead. We are all in your debt, Mr. Premier." Following Davis's passing, Lewis said, "It's hard to imagine a more decent adversary. When compared to the political dynamic today, the Bill Davis era was astonishingly civilized. As much as we did verbal battle across the floor of the legislature, we maintained a friendly and harmonious relationship in the aftermath. That was Premier Davis, a political leader of a kind and generous disposition. Sure, we disagreed ideologically in ways that could never be bridged, but an atmosphere of intellectual and political generosity prevailed because that was his every instinct." After the NDP formed government in 1990, then Premier Bob Rae recalled, Bill Davis made a point of reaching out in the earliest days, and he was a constant advisor and mentor to me in what would prove to be a challenging time. He made it clear that he wished nothing but success for me and for the province. Quote, "If you do well, we all shall do well." For Davis, it was never about Bill Davis. It was about Ontario, about government in the service of the public good, which is why so many politicians and premiers of all political stripes sought out his counsel and valued his advice. It was also about community. Davis insisted on returning home to Brampton every night to the people who had elected and re-elected him 7 times and always kept him grounded. But most of all, it was about family, many of whom have joined us today, along with friends and colleagues. After the tragic loss of his first wife to cancer, Davis found a soulmate in his second marriage of 57 years to Kathleen. He was a loving and devoted father of 5 and a doting grandfather, fondly known as Dutch, to his 12 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren. Together, they took great delight in the boisterousness of family life, cheering on their favourite sports teams and spending time at their Georgian Bay College. Bill Davis was the embodiment of politics as a noble calling. He exemplified the best of political life. We are profoundly grateful to his family for the sacrifices they made to share him with us, with the people of Brampton, and with all Ontarians. Our province and our country stands in your debt. Thank you.